Hello and welcome everybody to Grid Vision. Of course, we're here tonight to watch the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series at Kansas Speedway. I hope Toto's not on the racetrack, but definitely going to be an exciting one here tonight. My name is Brian Britt. Of course, we got a special guest here tonight, Sheldon Atkins, going to be joining as my co-commentator here tonight. Of course, Austin Derbyshire down behind the cameras as always. Now, I really enjoyed last week calling the race with Darby. Apparently, he doesn't want to call it with me, though. But let's take a look at what we expect here for tonight. Of course, Kansas is a 1.5-mile racetrack, and it looks like we're going to get to look at it a little bit from our spectacular Google Earth camera here. And, of course, as you can see, pretty standard 1.5 miles. Of course, this track is traditionally a top groove racetrack, but I have been told that the first 5, or shall I say first 10 to 15 laps, will be pretty much ran on the bottom for the most part. That is the way to save the most tire, of course. Sheldon, how are you? Do you have any experience with this racetrack?
I got plenty. Passing here is almost impossible once you get a couple laps on the tires, unless the guys that you're racing against really burn them off. It's an absolute blast, though. A lot of the fast guys are going to be ripping 3 inches up off the wall most of the way through the run near the end. So it's going to be a blast to watch.
All right, well, that leads us to our keys to the race. Sheldon, what are your keys to the victory here tonight?
Well, the most important thing is going to be save the tire on the bottom. You go up to the top, you're going to burn off the right front, right rears a little bit, and it's just not going to be a fun time for anybody. Draft is huge here. You don't want to fall back from that too much. And like I said, tire management, that's just it. It's a sauce to get around here. Passing cars here is like passing a kidney stone.
That's an interesting way to put it, for sure. Passing a kidney stone. Yeah, especially I think later in the run when the tire wear is starting to definitely become a factor. Of course, my pick, this is when we go to the portion of the race where we talk about who we think is going to win the race. Of course, I think James Harris is going to win it. I think he's been incredibly good. He notched one off a little bit a few weeks ago. Hopefully he can get it done. Who do you think is going to get it, Sheldon?
I really think the 24 is going to get it done tonight. Nathan Meyer, what I saw in practice, he was really aggressive, made some really clean moves to get to the front of the pack. I think I'm going to be looking out for him on, the end half of a run here if he can save the tires.
All righty. Next up, we're going to have our producer's pick. He's picked Nick Jaboski. So interesting call there. Of course, he's a new driver to the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. I do find it interesting. Going back to your pick, Nathan Meyer, he right now is the favorite for the championship, has the most wins out of everybody so far this season. So I got to say that was a very, very wise pick, that's for sure. Speaking of the points, let's take a quick look at that. Actually, we're going to look at the schedule before we get into that, but we'll take a quick look at the points after that. Of course, let's see what we have on the docket here for Grid Vision. Of course, we're doing Kansas here tonight. Thunderclap iRacing Series presented by TLC. They'll be running at Homestead Speedway. It does appear. Of course, love those Thunderclap guys. They're going to be running 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, Friday, we're going to have the ever-popular NIS Series, Ryco Performance broadcast there, of course, at Kansas as well. That's going to have some really great top split action at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, looking at the points, like I mentioned, Nathan Meyer is at the top of the board. He has 4 wins. He has double the wins of the next driver, who is Keegan Sabilo. Of course, the point spread between those two drivers is about 14 points at the moment. James Harris, who I picked, he's in 3rd right now with 1 win. Tyler Meeks is in 4th. Brad Thacker 5th. Of course, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the season. And if Meyer, I think, wins this race like you maybe project, Sheldon, he might run away with it. But I do believe we have the grid set here for this evening's action. And, of course, speaking who we were just talking about, starting in 2nd. But Keegan Sabilo is actually going to be starting on the pole here. So this could be a big deal for Sabilo in the 77. Of course, Nathan Meyer is going to be starting in 2nd place, as I mentioned. 3rd place is going to be George Young. 4th place, Carter Casey. 5th place, Harley Barletta. 6th place, James Harris. 7th place, Timothy Babcock. 8th place, John Lacido. 9th place, Russ Kilgore. And 10th, John Legger, new driver in the series.
Sorry, P11, John Horn, with Kalen Mitchell on the outside. James Loveland, P13 on the inside. Tyler Meeks starting on the outside in 14th. Colby Jackson starting on the inside in 16th. I'm sorry, guys. Rookie stripes.
That's all right. I think we're Blake Tisdale, of course, Brad Thacker in 19th, Nick Jaboski in 20th, Ray Kennison in 21st, Jason Taylor in 22nd, and 23rd, Brian High. So 23 cars going to be making the grid here tonight at Kansas Speedway. I always want to add motor speedway. So, you know, mile and a half usually have the motor in the middle there, but it is just Kansas Speedway. This is going to be an exciting one. I heard from James Harris, you can almost have the pedal down to the floor here at Kansas for quite a few laps, but it might not be worthwhile to do so, though, just considering, you know, you're going to burn the tires up.
Yeah, I've always found that you can say it's big on the bottom. You go up to the top, and you just on and off. Those good years, it's not like you get too hot to get too long.
100%. I know it's really fun to drive up there on the bottom, at the top at Kansas, though. I tell you, I've done some practicing here this week in the next gen in the Xfinity. Haven't touched the truck yet this week, so curious to see what it's going to handle like here. I mean, usually the truck has less power, you know, so it's going to feel a lot more planted for these drivers here. I would not be shocked if we see some 3-wide racing.
Oh, you're absolutely going to see a bunch of 3-wide here tonight. One of the biggest issues you're going to have with these guys, especially later in the run, is that aero push. Typically about 5 to 10 laps in is whenever I've ran into it, when I've burned my stuff off. And when you're running up against the fence, that aero push, that can ruin your day really quick.
I'm curious to see what that pole position is going to do for Keegan Sabilo. Of course, if he can throw that dirty air on the 24, it could make it really hard to pass. And you mentioned how hard it is to pass at this racetrack. So the 77 could have been handed a pretty good gift there for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Now, fresh tires coming down here on the bottom. I'm expecting he's going to be able to clear them. So.
Yeah, definitely. Here we go into the Geico restart zone as we, of course, get the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series race here at Kansas started. And there's the green flag up in the air. Pretty tame start. Keegan Sabilo wastes no time, goes all the way down onto the apron, the dog leg. That is something you will see here as the yellow flag is already back out. Wow. So looks like we might have had an incident further back, a big incident. I do believe that was the 35, it does appear, Tidwell. Tidwell apparently completely destroyed his front end. Luckily, he does have a fast repair. This series does feature a fast repair, but will he be able to make it to pit road to use it? As we take a look at the replay here.
Mm-hmm.
And we see, somebody checks up in front of him.
Yeah, somebody missed that start pretty bad there, and it's really nothing you can do in that instance. You're ready to go, and everybody in front of you doesn't.
Yeah, we'll have to take a different angle of it to kind of see exactly what led to this. Who was that kind of checked up ahead of him? Not quite sure who it was. And I do believe that is, the 7. Is that Tyler Meeks? Tyler Meeks just out of the gas very abruptly, and unfortunately, Nick Jaboski, I do believe was our producer's pick, just got turned directly head on into the outside wall as well. So, yeah, unfortunately, that was a bad incident there.
He's going to be grateful for that fast repair because looks like he was crab walking there after that hit.
Oh,
those toe links aren't easy to put back together on pit road.
No, not at all. But one thing about it, though, is you only have one fast repair. And you could tell, the 82 just not handling very well after, that hit. But it looks like I think he's going to be able to hopefully limp it back to pit road. But that fast repair is such a valuable resource. In a lot of leagues, they don't have fast repairs at all.
Yeah, if I was 82, I'd just go in, save that fast repair for later.
I mean, what might not be a bad call, especially if they have another accident. But, of course, I do want to mention they do have 3 sets of tires to play with down in the pits. I want to also mention the fuel window for tonight's race. Of course, that being about, I do believe, 44 to 46 laps. And we talked about how draft is really important in this race. Well, I think that varying of the amount of laps you can go has something to do with whether you're in clean or dirty air.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be wanting to fuel save. And unless we start getting a whole bunch of cautions midway through, fuel saving is going to be pretty big out here too.
Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely agree. Usually this series goes pretty green. We a lot of times will see green flag pit stops, especially at these mile-and-a-half style tracks. But we'll see if that's going to be the case here. A lot of times these races are won and lost based on strategy on pit road.
Gentlemen, how are y'all doing today?
Well, looks like we have somebody joining us up here in the booth.
Yeah, this is your favorite driver, Brad Thacker, representing the NPR crowd. I hacked your radio channel. Interesting fact about today's race is the Fords get 2 sets of tires and the Chevrolets get 3. Uh, there's a little error setting up the race, so we're operating on the honor system. If y'all see a Chevrolet pull an extra set of tires other than 2 spares, uh, y'all embarrass them on the broadcast and let them know that they're cheaters, and then have all your fans email them and
Wow.
harass them constantly.
Well, that is an interesting thing to learn. I appreciate you letting us know
Yeah,
that.
This-
Wow. Yeah, that
this-
we'll definitely try to keep an eye on that for sure. I mean, we have our statistics up here in the booth, so hopefully we'll be able to keep catch that.
yeah. Been racing with these guys for 4 years now, and this is the first time I've ever seen a split in manufacturer on who gets extra
Well,
sets of
blame James
tires.
Harris. I'm sure he
It,
set the
it
race up.
it is, and it's always his fault. So anyway, y'all hang out and enjoy the green flag, guys. I'll see you later.
All right, take
Alrighty,
care.
that
Good luck.
was Brad Thacker, of course, regular in the series. Green flag back out in the air. Keegan Sabilo, much better restart that time. He was able to get up through the gears quickly and on the pedal, and really got cleared for that lead quite quickly there.
And important thing right there, Nathan was able to get down to the bottom. He was able to get an opening there. That's going to help him a lot. Getting stuck on the top line here is just it's not the move on the restart. I can tell you that.
Well, I'll tell you, he's trying to utilize that huge run on the backstretch. You can see it worked out really well. He was able to give it a wide arc down the backstretch, and of course, into 3 and 4, and he was just able to shoot away from, of course, Keegan Sabila. And you talked about Meyer's speed in practice. He was just able to make moves happen that no one else was. We see 3 wide behind him, and Myers is starting to drive away. James Harris, my pick, drives to the front. He's up to second now.
Looks like we got a guy on the wall back there. Out of 2. Yeah,
That's
Meyer.
definitely unfortunate. I think that's Russ Kilgore possibly in the 2 machine.
I tell you, Meyer put on a power move there in 3. That was beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was. And I think that he was just so confident and comfortable with his race truck, which you have to be. But here comes James Harris. Harris has been one that has been able to match Meyer step for step almost all season long. He's been really, really fast and hot on his heels. But 24 has been really good at defending. But here comes Carter Casey. Now, Casey is a very talented driver who has yet to break through the victory lane in this series.
You can already see the aggression starting here early. Nobody wants to ride around right now and get in that dirty air.
Now, that is definitely clear. As you see Carter Casey, of course, really challenging James Harris. Now, this is exactly what I'd say Meyer wants. He wants those guys behind him to fight so he doesn't have to go side by side, because the more they go side by side, I think the slower they're going to go and the more they're going to burn their tires up. You're going to want to try to arc these corners to make the corner straighter.
Absolutely. Sorry, I got transfixed by that move for the lead there. I wasn't seeing the 24 get taken over that quick.
Yeah, Carter Casey definitely making a big move there. But we got to keep in mind, you mentioned it at the beginning of the race or before the race actually began, how big tires are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these huge moves these guys are making, what are they going to do to the tires later?
Oh, it's absolutely eating them up. The more time you spend riding directly on someone's bumper and just, flat to the floor with the pedal, the more it's going to hurt you about 10, 15 laps from now. There's like a handoff phase midway through the run. About 10, 15, 20 laps that area, you're going to start seeing a lot of guys that were aggressive up front start paying for it on the long end of the run. And it's just nothing they can do about it.
No, I 100% agree. And I think that explains why Keegan Sabilo fell back. He's hitting 31 4s right now, while everybody in front of him is hitting 31 2s and 1s. I mean, he has always been that driver that is very conservative when it comes to saving tires. And a lot of times that could be his strength. It could also be his downfall if we come down to a short run.
It will help him in the long run, but I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced that you can make up that much track position here. just
He's
because
done
of
it.
how hard it is to pass. But
I mean, he's done it at other racetracks to where he's slowed down quite a bit compared to everybody else. And then when everybody else is like struggling in 20 laps, he's running them down and passing them like they're not moving. So it can be a possible thing that, helps him out. We'll have to wait and see, but we still have been having almost a revolving door for the lead here as James Harris drives down to the apron. Now, I know that apron, you can go down there, that dog leg on the front stretch. Do you think that it, benefits your tires going down there?
it doesn't necessarily hurt him too bad. I mean, later in the run, you don't want to go down there just because of how edgy it gets. But early, I don't see it causing much problem. The main issue that you have going down there, though, is you hurt your momentum. When you come down on lip off that apron, you dump air underneath the splitter, and it kind of adds a little bit of drag to you, slows you down.
Well, that's really interesting. Now, that's something I never really thought about. Of course, you are shortening the racetrack, but you are also hurting your entry to one as well.
Absolutely. It does kill the entry to one. But as far as tire management, I mean, I've always gone down there, and I've had a decent amount of success here. It's not one of my better tracks, but I mean, we'll see what it does.
Well, here comes Meyer back to the point. He's going to see if he can't possibly stay there, but already a crossover maneuver from James Harris. Harris not content to just hang out behind Meyer here, as of course the top 5, top 6, all within a half a second right now. Throw a blanket over them. They're all right here. Now, of course, new driver, the 19 is John Legger. He is in the battle as well, and he's running the fastest laps in the top 5.
That's impressive, especially for his first time, or first few times being out here with these guys, because they seem like they're out in up front.
Oh yeah, we have a ton of talent in this series. A lot of very talented competition. George Young, though, in the midst of a battle with that 19 we were just talking about, John Legger. They are fighting for 4th place right now. Of course, Young up on the top in that Yingling 48. Here comes Meyer back to the inside for the lead.
I can't keep up with it, man. This is such a revolving door right now. It almost feels like I'm watching a plate race.
Well, I mean, like I mentioned, James Harris usually is the one that gives me a lot of the insight into how the racing's going to be during the week. And he pretty much said that this is going to be a lot like a plate race until we hit that point where tire wear is going to matter so much more, as Harris getting a really good run down the back stretch here as they drag race into turn number 3. Been some awesome racing, though, here in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. These guys, every week we show up, we don't know how exciting the racing is going to be, but we could guess that it's going to be really exciting.
I can say one thing. That 24 is he's clicking it off on the bottom. The fact that he's able to keep him at bay while Harris is trying to get to him up top, it's impressive. That's something I can't even do, man. I know how hard that is.
And you can see what Harris is trying to do as well. He tries to get to the back bumper to try to unsettle that 24. He's essentially trying to, I do believe, steal the air off of that spoiler to try to unsettle that race car. And Meyer doesn't really fall for it as much as other drivers do. He's able to kind of compensate as they dual steal for side by side steal for the lead.
These guys are putting on one heck of a show up there, that's for sure.
Fall off is starting to definitely be something we're watching as well. Half a second from the fastest laps here. James Harris, of course, fastest lap 30.913. His last lap 31.496. So we're definitely seeing quite a bit of fall off, and I don't think we've seen the last of it. I think we're going to continue to see these lap times drop, and there is more drop. 31.6 last time by.
Yeah, they're starting to get into that point now where they're starting to wear through them, heat them up. Right now is where you're really going to see the racers show up, and the ones that just burn it all off early, they're going to start falling back. Right now,
I definitely agree. Now, Nathan, but like some of these drivers, though, even though they might be, being aggressive, if they're smooth and fast, a lot of times you can still alleviate some of that tire wear by just being smooth. Like, you can still be fast. And some of the best on iRacing have mastered exactly that craft.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely what we're seeing right now with the top 3. Those guys, while everybody else was up there burning it up, they were being conservative somehow, but still being fast, and it's just I don't think these three are really going to get trumped by too many out here.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, that's why you see James Harris and Nathan Meyer. They're up in the top 5 on almost every week. Nathan Meyer, like I mentioned, 4 wins on the season, double of what anybody else has. Watching a little bit further back, though, we have some pretty exciting battling further back up for 10th right now. Kalen Mitchell, of course, is in the midst of a battle, I do believe, with John Horn. Of course, Horn in that classic Davey Allison scheme, I do believe.
Yeah, we got a Sunoco versus Texaco right now.
And, of course, you see Keegan Sabilo down on the bottom. Sabilo is just not looking as comfortable as we expected. I mean, he started up on the poles back here in 12th position. Now, he's been running on the bottom the entire race. Now, that's something that doesn't surprise me about Sabilo. Sabilo always kind of goes against the grain, if you will. And we know that the bottom is the place to save tire. Could that be why he's running down there so much?
Oh, absolutely. Because these guys you got up top here, they're going to be fast, but the question is, how long is it going to be before they start overheating that right front and start knocking down the fence?
Woo.
That's one of the most common ways to pass somebody here is just get on the bottom and let the guys outside of you hit the wall.
Yeah, definitely. And Sabilo almost just got into the 2 of, I do believe that was Russ Kilgore there, but Sabilo decides to jump up in front of Kilgore. And I think, yeah, look at that. There goes Sabilo. He's moving up to the top now. As I think we just saw, I think Kilgore just got into the outside wall. Wow, he's into the wall hard. He's going to fall outside of the top 15. Of course, that was the 2.
Yeah, that's going to hurt him bad. Because once you get knocked that far back, it is so hard to come back from that, especially with damage on the right front.
Yeah,
it doesn't
for
look
sure.
like he got it too bad, but it's not going to be in his favor.
No, not at all. I mean, luckily these trucks, they recently adjusted the damage model for these trucks, and they're not as bad as they once were. Used to be if you hit the wall like you just did, your race is done, essentially, that you would just never be able to get that speed back. But thankfully they have adjusted that to where, you still can find speed.
Yeah, it's a lot better than it used to be.
And the race is still hot for this lead. You can tell James Harris, this is that point in the race where I think you were exactly right about it being so difficult to pass. We saw that revolving door lead changes earlier. That's not the case right now. Now these guys are fighting for almost one lane, that top lane.
Yeah, and like right now, it's mainly going to come down to whoever makes a mistake, whoever pushes that cushion a little too far, whoever cooks that tire a little too hard coming into the corner and clips that wall, then you're going to find your way by them. If you're lucky, that is.
Yeah, if you find your way by them, because if they clip that wall, you might be going into them. I mean, it could be a pretty scary ordeal, especially when it's everybody's running up on the top. So, and that's why running that bottom could be the place to be, because you can avoid all of that. But then it's just so difficult to pass because you have to get that run on exit.
Yeah, it is a tricky, really fickle track. Like, a lot of people talk about how hard Darlington and Dover are, and they are incredibly hard, but this place, like, it's a very fine line you can run here and actually be fast and not ruin your entire day or somebody around you.
And the fall off continues to rise here for most drivers. Nathan Meyer last time by 31.870. He's almost got a second of fall off, as we're seeing George Young, of course, in the midst of a battle with Harley Barletta. Young has been falling off quite a bit here. Of course, he had been doing a really great job keeping up with the rest of the top 5, but I do believe he is starting to fall off, maybe burn the tires up a little bit prematurely.
Yeah, right now I'm looking John Horn had oh, sorry, I'm looking at the best, not the last. Disregard, guys.
And of course, I've been watching a little bit of Keegan Sabilo. He's been working on Colby Jackson right here to kind of work his way back up into 8th. As I do believe we're looking on board. I do believe that's John Lucido we were just looking at. Of course, side by side, though, for 8th place. As John Horn, who you were just mentioning, is right behind Sabilo and Jackson. Now, one thing I've been noticing that Sabilo has been a little bit quicker whenever he's on the top than the rest of the guys, because I think he stayed on the bottom longer, but he's just having so much problems actually getting these passes. And when they line up top, he's steamrolled. There's a train that just drives right by him.
Yeah, right now they're hooked up there. They got all that momentum from running so close to the wall. When you come down the straightaway, you combine that with the fact that all three of them are in a kind of tandem draft. It's just so hard to get anything done right now. Like at this point in the run, honestly, his best bet might just be taper back or find a hole like he's doing right now.
We got a battle, of course, starting to come together for second place. James Harris under fire by Carter Casey. Casey, oh, did he get the pass? Yes, he does. He got the pass completed into 1 and 2. And Casey up to second. As you can see, Meyer is starting to drive away. And I think the reason is he's got that clean air, which has always been conducive to saving tire.
Oh, yeah, clean air is just massive. It's with everything on, on the sim nowadays.
Of course, while we have a moment, I want to do shout out the title sponsor for this series, that being the Champion Power Equipment company there. Of course, this broadcast is brought to you by Champion Power Equipment. Since 2003, CPE has earned a reputation for designing and producing the market's finest power equipment. With over 4.5 million generators sold in North America, Champion has decades of experience providing dependable and durable power products designed and engineered in the U.S. for North American and world markets. Visit them at championpowerequipment.com for more information. Champion Power Equipment, powering your life.
I will say, Casey in that 8, they're starting to tip into Meyer's lead just a little bit here.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, looking at lap times, 32.115 versus Meyer 124. So just a hair faster. One driver I'm looking at, though, Sheldon, is, of course, Harley Barletta. Look at the speed he's showing here late. I mean, 32.037. He's faster than both of these guys.
Oh, yeah. No, Harley's it's just amazing seeing how well these guys are keeping these things under them right now.
Yeah, pretty long run right now as well. 34 laps on the tires at the moment. And, of course, I do believe we're getting closer and closer to the end of the run. A fuel window should be a lot of these guys have probably got pitting on their minds, pit strategies. But while we're, of course, thinking more about that, we're going to take it side by side for a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series presented by Grid Vision. Of course, we're going to be taking a look at something that just happened on the racetrack. Carter Casey, as you can see, is in the lead, but there is some major right side damage on the 24, Nathan Meyer. And you can see right there, he is all up in the fence, tries to get up off of it, but too late. The 8 has taken the lead, and look at that damage. But fortunately, it looks like Meyer is still competitively fast.
Yeah, it's just like I said. If you push that threshold just a little too much, this place will come back and bite you real quick.
Yeah, and of course he had the clean air, but this is a track that is very easy to get up into the wall. I'd say. I mean, it is. You mentioned it earlier, talking about just riding up towards the inches off of it. Well, a lot of people I've talked to recently said that it almost acts like a magnet here as of late. As it looks like, I think we might be having green flag pit stops happening on the racetrack. I do believe Dan Hillowig's coming to pit road. I think I just saw Higgins just come off of pit road. This is interesting. Very interesting indeed. Of course, we know the fuel window is about 44 to 46 laps. That at caution kind of should have made them be able to make it a little bit further. But I do believe some drivers are playing the strategy. And, of course, this is a two-stop race. So why not, try to do it evenly? What do you think, Sheldon? What would your strategy be?
Yeah, right now you've got the guys trying to undercut so they can get a little bit fresher tire. They can make up some of that time disadvantage that they had by burning their stuff off earlier, just, getting caught in traffic. It's a smart move. I mean, I'd probably do the same myself.
I'm curious to see when Carter Casey and Nathan Meyer elect to come down pit road. As, of course, they're in the midst of battling traffic that are trying to unlap themselves, essentially. Of course, I just saw Nick Jaboski able to pass there, but I do believe he is still a lap down. As here comes Meyer. Meyer electing to pit. This is definitely an interesting decision for him.
Yeah, Myers just wanting to come and get that damage tended to so he can get back on pace.
And he wasn't slow right there behind Casey. But, yeah, I think you're right. I think he's going to want to get some of that looked at. He's probably wanting desperately to make this the 5th victory this season. I mean, he's won at almost every track you can think of, or every style of track, I should say. He's one of the short tracks. I mean, last week was Dover, and he was able to go out there and dominate theirs. Here comes Carter Casey. Of course, this is a smart call from Casey. He knows that Meyer, if he goes in a lap before him, he's going to be able to get some time on the new tires. And Casey's like, I want to limit that. So he answers right after the pit stop from the 24 here. And it looks like James Harris now up to the lead. So this strategy seems to be working for Harris, as he, I do believe, has over 2 seconds on Meyer, and probably going to be over 3 seconds, because Meyer, of course, still has to get up to speed here.
Yeah, he's going to get a significant jump here on the start of the run. If he can keep his tires under him doing this, he can stand to gain a whole bunch of track position on this deal.
And, of course, for the most part, Harris was right there with that top 3 for a long time. But here comes Carter Casey off pit road. I do believe he's going to have quite a bit of a distance to get up there to Harris. Let's see, does Meyer get by Casey? And it's going to be close. Casey is going to come out right behind the 24. So I think Casey's going to have enough draft to kind of try to work his way up there to Meyer. Now look at that. Keegan Sabilo with his strategy has closed a lot of the distance that he did, that he had lost of being stuck in traffic. But of course, I think he's going to have a tire deficit compared to the drivers ahead of him. We're now 49 laps in. Go ahead, Sheldon.
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit behind on the tires. I honestly think he's, based on what I've seen out of him, though, I think he's going to be good enough that I don't think that deficit's going to hurt him too much on the long run, because a lot of these guys are just out here just sending it every lap. And he's just been really methodical, saving tires and keeping it under him. I think he'll be all right.
Tyler Meeks, of course, just coming off of pit road right now. We do have, I do believe, about one driver that is still out on the racetrack, and that is John Legger. Actually, no, Legger has hit pit road, so James Harris will now be the leader here in a moment as we get ready to conclude lap number 50. 5 laps to go until we'll be halfway through the race here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Of course, next week going to be a really exciting one. You talked about this track a little bit earlier. Probably didn't realize we were going there next week. Darlington Raceway, my home track.
That is one of the best tracks in the world, hands down. Such a driver's track.
It is very much a driver's track, and I kind of almost feel unlucky for having it as my home track because I'm never going to be able to win there. It's a tough track, really tough track.
Man, I have the same exact luck with Richmond, so don't feel bad. All the years I've been on here, I've only won once there, and it's really disheartening.
Yeah, that's another tough track. The action track, Richmond. Let's take a quick look down at the top 10 right now. James Harris up in the lead. Of course, he's got about 1.8 seconds on Nathan Meyer at the moment. That's going to change very quickly because Meyer is coming. Carter Casey, though, he's coming even faster here, 4/10 back from Meyer. He's in third. Keegan Sabilo, he's sitting in fourth, almost 2 seconds back from Casey. Colby Jackson, of course, is in fifth. Timothy Babcock's in sixth. John Horn's in seventh. Kalen Mitchell is in eighth place. Harley Barletta in ninth. And James Loveland rounds out the top 10 at the moment. While we have a minute, I do want to, of course, talk a little bit about another partner here with the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. That being Green Mountain Grills, where innovation meets flavor and your grilling experience reaches new heights. Are you tired of the same old grilling routine? Elevate your barbecue game with Green Mountain Grills, the ultimate choice for enthusiasts who crave precision, performance, and mouth-watering results. Why choose Green Mountain Grill? Smart control technology, versatile cooking options. They have quality craftsmanship, wood-fired flavor, and that very easy to use, easy to clean. Ready to transform your outdoor cooking experience? Choose Green Mountain Grills, where every meal is an adventure and every bite is a masterpiece. Upgrade your grilling game today. Visit greenmountaingrills.com. Now, it wouldn't be right if somebody didn't say, that makes me hungry, because I usually am the one that says that to Austin.
I'm sitting here just imagining a nice medium rare steak as we watch this, so thanks for that.
No problem at all. Carter Casey and Nathan Meyer starting to battle, but I think James Harris might have some company here soon. Now, this is the downside of his pit decision here. He is 3/10 slower right now than Meyer and Carter Casey.
Yeah, right now, honestly, the best strategy for him is just be kind of let these guys find their way by him. Give and take goes a long way. Yeah, he's not fending these guys off on his own, so.
Yeah, there's no way he's going to be able to really fight these guys off, and with his tire deficit at the moment. And I think Meyer and Casey are going to definitely walk right around him. Now, of course, James Harris's best bet would have if Casey and Meyer starts to fight, but I don't think that's going to happen because Meyer is on the back door of the 55 as he takes a little bit of the top group to try to see if he can mount a charge on the top.
Oh, he's going to the bottom here.
Yeah, here he goes to the bottom. I think Harris just decided to go up the track to kind of maintain the momentum. He's going to fall in right behind Nathan Meyer. He's not even going to try a crossover because he knows his tires are worn out. compared at least to Meyer.
Look at that dirty air hit him there in the center. That is a hopeless feeling.
And it changes the entire handling of the race car for sure, especially at a track like this. This track is all about handling.
It's just such a bad feeling when you go from having clean air and all the grip in the world to somebody gets in front of you and, you know, you go to run your line like you have all night long and slide up about a lane and a half.
And here comes Carter Casey. He's going to see if he can possibly get by the 55 here as well. That Reese's machine to the inside. I'm probably going to hear something from my producer that says I said it wrong. And, yep, there it is. I'm hearing I have offended our producer by saying it. Is that correct? His name is Reese? We're not going to have this argument right now here. Nobody can hear your side, so I win.
Hang on while I try to climb out of the floor after that.
Nathan Meyer, though, up to the top spot. Of course, has a half a second back to Carter Casey. Casey able to get by James Harris. We do have Harley Barletta back here. He just got up to 6th place.
Look at that. They were 3 wide there.
People. Yeah, I think that was a 2-for-1 special there for Barletta.
This
battling definitely heating up. You can see John Horn, of course, stuck on the bottom. And that bottom side just has not been the place to be. I don't know. Bottom is king. I don't know. We might need to change that key to the race.
Well, it's king for tire saving, but once you get into the run, that top line just starts moving because you have no grip going down to the bottom. You go down there and it feels like the front end of the truck has just been completely detached. And then that top line just gets OP.
Yeah, for sure. No, that top line is very much OP here at Kansas, especially on the, as you get longer and longer into the run. When the handling starts to go away, you're going to want to try to maintain that momentum up there. As you see the 0-2 of James Loveland. He was very fast from what I recall last week at Dover. He's trying to attack right now the 67 of Kalen Mitchell. Of course, we're on lap 62. And what a green race we've had here tonight at Kansas. I mean, we saw that one caution at the beginning of the event. And after that, it has been smooth sailing. As there goes Keegan Sabilo being attacked now by Barletta. Barletta has been passing them left and right here. Fastest truck on the track right now is Barletta. 31.5 last time by. Everybody around him not even coming close.
These guys are just flying up here right now. They're in their own zip code at this point.
You see Barletta driving up on the top in that 81. Very quick. I'm wondering, I've got to check. I think Barletta might be on a little bit newer tires than the rest of the field. That actually is the case. I'm showing 15 laps on Barletta's tires while everybody around them is about 20-plus laps on their tires. And we, of course, have the strategy up on the screens right now. And you can clearly see Barletta, 16 laps on the equipment. James Harris, 23. Keegan Sabilo, 22, I do believe. So that explains, I mean, that's quite a big difference there in lap times. I mean, or of the amount of time since the new tires, I should say.
Right now, Barletta's doing something a little different with his line, too, from what we've seen out of a lot of the top guys so far. Running that middle line, that's not as common here. It's pretty hard to make work, so that's impressive.
It seems like he is making it work. I mean, his lap times haven't been steadily some of the best on the racetrack. I do believe we have seen the snake start to eat its tail here as lap traffic has come into play here. As Nathan Meyer and Carter Casey just got by, I do believe, Ray Kennison in the 47. I do want to mention we saw John Horn, who was in the event earlier. He has, I do believe, had some sort of issue. He is now 4 laps down. Kennison actually is now 4 laps down as well after getting lapped there. course, Blake Tiddell is 2 laps down. So we do have quite a number of drivers that have gone multiple laps down. Dan Hillewig is getting ready to go 1 lap down. You can see him on your screen there just for a moment. Of course, no one wants to go a lap down, but what do you do when you have someone that is as quick as Nathan Meyer come up on you? I mean, there's nothing much you can do. You can see Hillewig kind of going down the racetrack.
With guys that fast, you see them in your mirror for about a half a corner, then they're half a track in front of you before you even blink.
I bet the dirty air playing havoc on the 24 right now, though. And that could maybe open the door for Carter Casey to close in an inch closer to the 24 here. There goes Hillewig doing the respectful thing. He goes down the racetrack, gets out of the way to give clean real estate to Nathan Meyer. With that, we're going to take a brief step away. We'll be right back with the conclusion of the race here at Kansas Speedway. Thanks for watching. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the coverage here of the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. As we see the 67 of Kalen Mitchell has decided to come down pit road. They were beating and banging, I do believe, with, I think it was the 3 of Colby Jackson for a little bit there. But that actually doesn't surprise me that we're seeing pit stops right now. I think we're going to probably see more very soon as well, just considering most of these drivers, I think if all of them essentially are on a 2-stop strategy. So I think strategy is going to be who wins the race is going to be based on their strength.
No, at this point, you want to come in as soon as possible because you don't want to get trapped. You just want to get those fresh tires on you as quick as you can so you can just go start logging heaters.
And we do want to remind everybody as well that we heard this, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, after that caution came out from Brad Thacker. He explained that there were actually only supposed to be 2 sets of tires down the pits. Here comes Jason Taylor, I do believe, as well as Timothy Babcock to pit road. But, of course, these Chevys, I do believe, have 3 sets. They are not supposed to use that last set, though. If you talk about. I think you said something about you think that they should pit as soon as possible. I'm kind of a different mind. I feel like if you stay out as long as you can, and then a caution comes out, you still have that set to play with. If you pit now and you run several laps on your tires, then a caution comes out, you're kind of up the creek. But I think either way, you're up the creek. Really, it just depends on the circumstance.
Yeah, personally, I think based on how green this race has run, how it's been trending, I'd want to come in and get those tires and get as much gap as I can.
That is true. I mean, based on evidence here, it is running green. And you would expect it to probably stay running green. I would want to point here, Harley Barletta was one of the faster drivers on the track. He's actually started falling off a little bit. Even though he's on newer tires, his tires have kind of been worn out a little bit. Keegan Sabilos is catching back up to this driver. Just wanted to kind of say that. Of course, we do see, I do believe, the 0-2 of Loveland, as well as all over the rear end of the 77. But Nathan Meyer still in control. I think he's going to be the trendsetter here on when people come to pit road. I'll tell you, that 24, I think this season has essentially become the trendsetter of this series. I mean, he has been the most successful driver this season. And last season, every time he showed up as well, he was always in the running for a victory. But he wasn't able to participate all season long. He did miss many a race. So that kind of hurts. You not being there in the race, kind of takes you out of the running for the championship. But now, now he's kind of been able to, take care of business and attend to all the races.
Yeah, but let's not look over the fact, too, that how masterful of a job that 8 truck of Casey has made all night, of keeping that 24 within 5/10 of him the entire race.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, Casey has done a fantastic job, and I'm not even going to say the sponsor of his race car because our producer will make fun of me.
It's Reese's, isn't it?
It's got to be. But he has done a great job, and I've known this driver for quite a while. Of course, he's affiliated with a team that I'm involved with, and has always been a very, very talented driver. From what I've known, his experience mainly is with the short tracks. I saw some sparks there. I just saw some sparks on our screens here. Not exactly sure what that was about. See Colby Jackson coming off the pit road right now. Of course, he falls back to 18th. I believe we see Dan Hillewig possibly was the one that maybe scraped the wall. We see some scrapes along the side of that race car.
Yeah, you knocked that fender back a little bit, but it doesn't look like it's going to hurt him too bad. That left rear damage looks a little spooky, though.
88 of Sheldon Pearson coming to pit road right now. I do believe Brad Thacker as well completing his pit stop.
Yeah, somebody got into him.
Harley Barletta, I do believe, coming to pit road. So we're seeing a lot of drivers taking this opportunity to pit here very early, I'd say, for Harley Barletta, considering this driver had newer tires than the rest of the field here. Of course, Nathan Meyer has about a 4/10 of a second gap still on Carter. Been keeping that at roughly about the same, but now Carter's having to deal with some traffic. That's the 56 of Brad Thacker right there trying to unlap himself. Here comes James Harris. Now, of course, James Harris was already on a short kind of pit strategy in a way. So this does not surprise me that he's coming a little bit early. And it worked out for him. I don't think it worked. I don't think it was too bad for the 55. We'll see if that strategy works out for him. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Nathan Meyer and Carter Casey come very, very soon.
I know that
caution flag is out. This changes everything. Jason Taylor, I do believe, with some sort of issue. The 15 showing up on my radar is one of the drivers that dropped through the field quickly. So I don't know if it was the 15 that brought the caution out, but something happened, and this is going to change everything.
I had to jinx it, didn't I?
going to take a look at the replay, see exactly what happened here. And you see Taylor, of course, in the midst of a battle with Timothy Babcock. Oh, Taylor and Babcock connect on the front stretch. And, of course, Taylor hits the outside wall. Does a quick 360. He's able to right the ship. It's definitely going to be some damage on that race car.
It is. That just comes down to it's so hard to clear yourself here, and it's really hard to tell if you are clear. You just slide up a little bit, not expecting it, and next thing you know, you clip the left front of the guy in front of you, and you're head on in the fence.
Yeah, and I think in a lot of ways, those guys met in the middle. I do believe. I mean, you can see that, Babcock had some room up to the wall, as well as Taylor what was coming up. So both of those guys kind of met in the middle in a lot of ways. Definitely a racing deal. I don't think there was any maliciousness at all there.
Yeah,
As
it's
of
just
course,
hard racing in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, 100%. Of course, everybody pretty much coming to pit road, and this is what I was talking about. If you had short pitted by too much, and you use that last set of tires, you're at a disadvantage right now because you don't have a set to change into.
Yeah, you see, this is the part where me personally, I'd be going full Kurt Busch on the radio right now.
I hear that. Maybe having to mute your mic.
Look, there's a reason I'm only a 2K right now.
Nathan Meyer, though, going to win the race off pit road. He's going to maintain the lead. While we have a moment, I do want to shout out another one of the partners here. Speaking of which, this is specifically has to do with partners. Blackstone Management Partners. Blackstone Management Partners guarantees an unrivaled one-on-one approach with every client, providing them with solutions and services required to keep their dynamic brands thriving and one step ahead of the ever-changing consumer marketplace. Blackstone comprises expertise in marketing, communications, talent management, and event management. Working with their clients, they not only use traditional but state-of-the-art platforms, including mobile marketing, experimental marketing, cause-driven marketing, and as much more things. Of course, visit them at bsmpartners.com to check them out. They can definitely help you with your business.
All right, so right now, everything that we said about tire management, race strategy, you can just throw that out the window. We're going to have roughly a 20-lap dash on this set here. Everybody's lower on fuel than they have been all race on fresh tires. It's about to get interesting.
No, it is about to get really interesting. And what I find incredibly interesting is, we saw some of the drivers being kind of really easy and cautious on the tires, such as Keegan Sabilo. He was all the way back in like 8th place for a long time, and now he's up in 3rd. Like, where did he come from? Somehow his strategy worked out, but I'll tell you what, 2 drivers that have been running hard all race long, Nathan Meyer and Carter Casey, they're up here in the lead. I don't think anybody's going to have anything for these 2 drivers. I think that it's going to be one of these 2 guys that gets it.
That's the thing, though. These two, they're going to be running each other hard all the way to the finish. They've had each other in their crosshairs all race long. These 2 start racing, that 3rd place guy is going to look extra good.
That's true. Now we're looking at, of course, the time spent on pit road. And I do believe Keegan also was able to gain probably quite a bit of spots based on how he was just really good on pit road. I don't think he put as much gas in the truck and just was more efficient. Now, we'll say, though, Nathan Meyer did a pretty good job on pit road as well. Pace car lights are out, though. Time to get back going once again. And this is, I think this is anybody's race here towards the end. I mean, we're going to have, I do believe, 22-lap shootout here, 22-lap run to the end. We know that about a 20-lap run, I mean, that's essentially the time that you can go flat out for the most part. So these guys, this is going to be a super speedway style finish, I do believe.
It's going to be a revolving door for the lead. Nope.
Looks like we're having late green, yeah. And I think everyone was not able to get caught up to the field here. But I do believe everybody has caught up now, so we should be able to go here now. It looks like Ray Kennison electing to come back down pit road right quick. But here we go. And at the moment, we have, I do believe, 18 drivers still on the lead lap. That's quite a lot of drivers still on the lead lap here with so much of the race already completed.
It's going to be an absolute dogfight to the finish here.
I think we better buckle up and prepare to be on the edge of our seats because this is going to be, I wish Edstrom was here, some high-octane action. He loves it when I say that. Y'all steal it from me. My producer says they say it in other broadcasts now. Oh, well, that's nice. I'm so glad. They say it in honor of me. That warms my heart.
Looks like we got an awful lot of wave arounds there in the back, based on how many guys we got on the bottom.
And you know what that means? That means a lot of drivers ended up staying out there to get that wave around, and you can see clearly, yeah, all the single file, pretty much, I do believe 8th on back, essentially.
I think we had a lot of guys get caught up, lap down after pitting there when that yellow came.
And here we go into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. Nathan Meyer up through the gears on the gas pedal. And what a start. Catches Carter Casey completely off guard, and Keegan Sabilo, because he started on the same line as the 24, was able to take advantage.
Oh, yeah, he's out for blood now.
You can see big blocks from the 77, trying desperately to block the 8's progress. And I think that you got to keep in mind, this is for the soul of this series, or this season, essentially. The 77, if he allows the 24 to win this race, he might be kissing his championship hopes goodbye for this season. We got to keep in mind, the gap right now is 24, or not 24, 14.
Oh, big dart to the bottom there from the 8. Gonna be side by side coming into 3.
Casey trying to make something happen. Almost 3 wide is the 19 of John Legger. First race here is looking fantastic.
And you're about to see it. Did they touch there?
I think we did see a touch there between the 77 and the 8. And here comes James Harris. James Harris running some really, really fast laps right here. Right now, I do believe Harris fastest on the racetrack, 30.5 last time by.
Yeah, these guys aren't living for anything here, I can promise you that.
Of course, we got Brandon Green in the comments saying, "Let's go 24." You love to see it.
Oh, big slide there on the 77.
77 trying to hold off the 19. Now Carter Casey has gotten in front of him. Casey gets a little bit tight, tries to drive his way up to the 24, as the 19 and the 77 still battling. The 19, new to the series, trying to pretty much seal himself in the record books of the champion power equipment. Oh, as the battle is on for the 77. That was a scary ordeal right there. I felt like the 19 and the 77 were getting ready to pretty much have to get their car or trucks towed.
That was a beautiful crossover he pulled there, though. If only could have gotten the power down.
As they are still side by side for third place. James Harris playing Kingmaker in a lot of ways, trying to figure out which line do I go with. And it looks like, I think, the bottom.
That 8 is absolutely hounding that 24 right now.
And who can blame him?
But you can see that dirty air starting to play on him a little bit, the way he's sliding up out of the corners.
And you could tell look at how aggressively the 24 is blocking here. I mean, the 8 almost is able to get underneath the 24, but then all of a sudden, a block is thrown that kind of makes it a little bit hard to get that nose underneath.
Here's the 77 back in the picture, too.
Yeah, he just all of a sudden showed up out of nowhere. I don't know where the 77 came from. He was battling the 19, and then all of a sudden he hit 5th gear. These trucks don't even have 5th gear.
He's licking the stamp and sending it right now. I can promise you that. He's going to get a big run here on the bottom of the 8, and I think he might even up with him coming out of the corner.
What a run from the 77. He goes all the way down to the dog leg, and he is flying. Keegan Sabilo, last time by, fastest on the racetrack.
Oh, he had a big dive down into the bottom on the 24. I don't think he's going to be able to make that stick entirely.
The 8 definitely not going to allow the 77 to try to get past. And here comes the 8 once again pouncing, trying to get to attack the 24. And look at the 8, almost bump drafting the 24 out of the corner.
I didn't know we had tandems here.
This is some fantastic racing right here. As the 8 goes up the racetrack, Keegan Sabilo tries his hand at the tandem draft.
Yeah, that 8 had to roll out of it there and shoot up a lane because the 24, like he was blinking there for a second.
And it seemed like it might actually have worked out for Carter Casey, just considering, I mean, he got a pretty good run down the backstretch. But now it looks like Sabilo kind of working with the 24 in a way. As we're coming now, I do believe 12 laps to go. Top 5 have separated quite a bit from 6th on back. Of course, Kalen Mitchell, 1.8 seconds back. Big block from the 77 on the 8. That's going to hurt his, I do believe, entry, though, to the corner.
Doesn't look like it hurt him too bad.
No, it didn't look like it should have.
I don't know how. I don't know how that worked out for him. But it did.
Usually whenever you enter shallow, it usually hurts the corner, but it did not hurt him there.
I guess this is a testament to how much grip these things have on the short run.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right.
But
Carter Casey now under fire from the 55. I think he might have lost his opportunity to fight for the win here.
He just needs to sit back, cool those tires off. I'd probably let that 55 go by for a couple laps.
Well, we don't have too many laps left. Now 10 laps to go here. And here comes Sabilo. Sabilo says, I want this win. I mean, we got to keep in mind, Meyer has won 4 races this season. Sabilo has won 2. Sabilo says, let me get one, brother. But I don't think the 24 is going to lay over easy. He's led the majority of this race.
If I was a 77, I'd start hunting for different lines right about now.
What kind of lines can you run? I mean, going to the top, what do you do here?
I mean, at this point in the run, the top line should start to be coming in. Try to build that momentum, cross them down the back straightaway.
Could be a strategy. If Keegan's listening, try it out.
Keegan, give it a shot.
As they're coming up to 8 laps to go. The grains in the hourglass are starting to run out here. Nathan Meyer trying to hold on to it. Now, of course, we've seen Nathan Meyer make a mistake in this race already. Does he make another one because of the pressure of Keegan Sabilo? Sabilo, listening to you, he goes to the top, trying to build a run. You can see Meyer trying to take away the draft, essentially, of the 77.
Yeah, right now, I don't see how he's gonna be able to get by him with the dirty air. And honestly, the 24's has been masterful all race, but that 77, man, he's going. Like, give him credit.
Oh, he's definitely trying, and of course, the 77 of Sabilo has gotten a lot of runner-up finishes in his career.
We got a yellow.
Yellow flag is out. The 0-2 of Loveland.
Oh,
big hit
huge
with
hit.
Timothy Babcock. That is going to be the yellow flag. Big hit right there as we take a look at the replay and what happened. Of course, Loveland was up in the top 10. Oh, right here, he almost got double-team suplexed right there.
That is a tricky spot. When you come up off that apron, oh God. Man, that was harsh. When you come up from the apron there and you got somebody on your outside and they don't give you that lane down there, you reckon. Doesn't matter which direction.
Looking on board with Timothy Babcock here. This is going to be quite a dramatic crash. As you can see Babcock. Oh.
No, it's nowhere to go.
Not at all. Just he was clear, and then there was a truck there, and of course smashes the 99. But of course, this is going to lead to, I do believe, possibly a green-white checkered scenario here. Very well could be possible that we're going to see ourselves a very quick shootout here to the end.
It's going to be a lot of sliding.
Oh, yeah. These guys are, I do believe, on some older tires, so there could be some wheel spin.
I know not a single one of these guys were saving anything here, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, you're 100% right. No one was really saving. Everybody pretty much is on 20-lap old tires now. Technically, the Chevys do have one set of tires left, but they are not allowed to use them.
I will say you're going to keep an eye coming off of turn 2 here on this first lap.
Could we see, somebody spin out? I think it's possible.
How many overtimes we got over here? Is it unlimited?
I do believe it's 3.
3? All right. I mean, I don't expect these guys to wad them. I don't expect these guys to wad them up too much from what we've seen so far, but these cautions breed cautions.
Yeah, we have definitely seen a very clean and green race. We saw green flag pit stops. Now we get to see possibly a green-white checkered. So we've seen about everything in this race. Keegan Sabilo trying to cool his tires down in the grass.
I thought they patched that.
I don't know. I'm just saying he just was putting his tires down there.
I mean, I still try it too.
I do believe, pace car lights should go out this time by as we get ready to get this thing back underway. Of course, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight to the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series presented on Grid Vision. We definitely want to, I can't believe I forgot to say this. I do want to give, or should I say wish, a very, very happy birthday to Austin Edstrom, who usually calls these races on Tuesday. He is not here because it is his birthday, so definitely everybody in the comments, make sure to wish him a very happy birthday.
I can only imagine the kind of shenanigans he's getting into tonight.
I don't even want to think about it. Definitely, he is a well-loved member of the Grid Vision family. He's a character, that's for sure.
That's an understatement.
So here we go. Pace car light should be going out this time by, and yep, looks like I think we're going to have ourselves an unofficial green-white checkered. That's right, unofficial. That means we could possibly have 3 more after this one. But I think we're going to make it to the white flag.
Yeah, the 81 pushing the 55 there under yellow.
Trying to make sure he goes, Next week, we're going to Darlington Raceway. Going to be an exciting one there. That's a 1.33 mile racetrack.
Absolutely nothing but character.
And it's going to take a really awesome driver to conquer that one. As who's going to conquer Kansas, though? We're getting ready to find out.
I still got my money on the 24 here, but
your money has been well placed. I'll tell you that. He has not let anybody down here tonight. And there goes the pace car down pit road as we get ready to enter the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back out in the air as Nathan Meyer on the loud pedal. Bad restart there from Sabilo, I do believe, and Harris. They kind of got a little bit wiggly hitting that apron as they are battling hard right now for third place. Sabilo kind of stuck up on that top side. As you can see, Carter Casey trying to hold off the 55. I think Nathan Meyer is going to take the white flag. And I don't think anybody's going to have anything for him, but I don't know. Casey's starting to build a run.
It's going to be tight, that's for sure.
And there it is. White flag is out. And the 24. Does he lead this last lap? He comes through 1 and 2. In the words of Brandon Green, boogity boogity. As Nathan Meyer tries to break the draft here on the 8. Here comes Carter Casey. Can he get underneath them as they come out of turn 3, come out of turn 4, and it looks like Meyer is going to seal the deal at Kansas and make his 5th win in the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series. What a season.
Big wreck behind him.
What a season for the 24. Wow. He's won almost everything there is to win in this series except for a championship, and I think he's well on his way to do that. As the more he does this, the more it becomes almost impossible for anyone else to have the championship. I do believe he might have mathematically sealed the deal here if he makes every race. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to, of course, hear from the league admins to see if that's going to be the case, but what a race. And of course, look at him. He's going to be burning it down and tearing up some of that nice Kansas grass. Tell you what, his father up in heaven's definitely got to be very, very proud of this young man who has been just fighting hard to honor his father. Thomas Meyer, who's on the back deck lid of his machine, has been on there all season long. And of course, we're going to go ahead and send and talk to our top 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Champion Power Equipment Truck Series, or the conclusion of the race here at Kansas Speedway. Of course, what a race we saw here tonight. Let's take a look through the final results. And of course, Nathan Meyer going to lock down his 5th win of the season. Carter Casey comes home in 2nd place. James Harris finishes in 3rd. Keegan Sabilo, 4th place. John Leager in his first race, very impressive, 5th. Harley Barletta finishes 6th. Kalen Mitchell in 7th, Sheldon Pearson 8th, Brian High in 9th, and George Young rounds out the top 10.
Followed in 11th place by John Thacker. In 12th, Russ Kilgore, Tyler Meeks, Colby Jackson, and John Lucido rounding out your top 15. Then you've got Timothy Babcock, Jason Taylor, Nick Jazabowski, Blake Tidwell, and Ray Kennison rounding out your top 20. And 20th, 21st, you got Don Hillewig, James Loveland in 22nd, and rounding out the field in 23rd is John Horn.
All right, that's a look top to bottom at our 23-car field. Of course, the points have come in. I just want to mention that. Nathan Meyer now up to 297 points. He has 17 points over Keegan Sabilo and has 5 wins. His average start, 3rd, average finish, 2nd. With that, we're going to go ahead and jump right into the interviews. We'll talk to James Harris. All righty, we got him here in the booth. James Harris, driver of the 55. Great performance here tonight, but you just weren't able to get it done, James. I picked you to win this race, and you always let me down. What's going on, man?
Well, just stop picking me then. Maybe I'll start winning again.
So I'm the problem. Okay.
No, you're good. No, man, Kansas, I've been hit or miss at Kansas. It's not necessarily my best track, but yeah, I didn't have nothing for Nathan tonight. We might could have got second, but I'll take P3. And you guys have interviewed me a lot more this season than last season, so I would say that's an improvement either way.
Oh, it definitely is an improvement. I mean, you got yourself a W this season as well, and you've been really running very consistently. You're in the third in the points. I mean, now I do have to ask, is there any chance that Nathan can be unseated from the championship now? Because we don't have a whole lot of races left.
Now, with 4 races left, I mean, it was a very close battle until Dega kind of got a hold of me and Keegan a little bit, and Nathan kind of got a big gap there, but I do know Nathan's not the greatest at Darlington, but he's also a heck of a racer, so he can adapt pretty good. North Wilkesboro, who knows? We need him to have some bad luck, but 2 of the last 4 tracks are some of my best. I'm really good at Darlington and Charlotte both, so I'm hoping I can gain some ground at least at those 2 tracks.
So what you're saying is there is still some hope.
There's always hope, unless I'm completely out coming into the last race. And we're going to race hard, just like we have a chance, because you never know what's going to happen. And I love Nathan to death. Me and him are good friends, and we race together very well. But if it comes down to it, and I can gain some points on him, I may have to give him the old chrome horn a little bit.
Oh no! Well, we can't wait to see it. Hopefully, we'll have the Grid Vision exclusive. That's for sure, James. Next week is Darlington. How do you feel about that place?
Man, a lot of guys hate that track, but I love that track, man, because it's such a driver's track. It's a tire management track. It's so fast, close quarters. The only thing I don't like about Darlington is the lap cars, because sometimes those guys can be hard to pass because it's such a narrow groove. But, man, that track to me is almost a perfect racetrack, and I love it today. So I'm really expecting for myself at least at minimum a top 2 next week.
Well, definitely love the confidence for sure, James. Who can we shout out after your 3rd place finish?
I'd like to shout out my wife for sure, because she let me update my rig and get triples last week. So we're balling now, but she's a very understanding and loving wife. I also want to thank Kevin Kirscher with Blackstone Management, Champion Power Equipment, Green Mountain Grills, Allegiant, and Grid Vision for being the best broadcasters in sim racing.
All right, James. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
All right, 10-4. Thank you.
All right, that was James Harris, driver of the 55. Next up, Carter Casey, the man I can't seem to get an interview with, even though I know him from the past. But, of course, we're going to have Sheldon interviewing the 8.
Man, absolutely incredible job out there, man. Sorry, I'm not sure what questions I should ask right now.
That's all right, Sheldon. If you need me to take it, I can. Carter, man, I guess I do get the opportunity to talk to you. A long time. I mean, I know it's been a while since the refined days. How you been doing, though, man? I tell you what, you've been lighting up the stage here in Champion.
Yeah, I've been doing good. Just kind of stepping away from, racing a whole lot. I've just been looking for some good leagues to run, and then this is one that I found with James running it, and it's been more than fun. Since I've taken place in this and started running with these guys, I mean, I can't say enough about these drivers that we've been racing week in and week out over here. It's been almost too much fun. I think it should be illegal, but it's been good. I'm just glad to come in here, kind of earn the respect of these guys, and have some good hard racing up front. It's been a blast, and I've been doing good, buddy.
Yeah, you've been doing good on the racetrack, that's for sure. I mean, now that battle with you and Nathan was pretty spectacular. I mean, you guys, I think, were fighting all race long, and we kept, remarking on how great you were at sticking with him. And then also, he got the wall, and you were able to take the lead from him. I mean, that could have been almost a game changer for you there.
Yeah, I saw him dragging the wall out, and was like, this is my chance, because I can't recall exactly what the lap number is on a set of tires, but you get to a certain point on those set of tires, you're stuck on the top, and that's what you got. Like there's no moving around like we were early in the run. So I saw him hit the wall, and he doesn't really make mistakes. So I was thinking that might have been the chance, and then we got some green flag cycles that were coming up there for the pit stops. We did one green flag. We were coming up on our second green flag run pit stop, and I was just sitting there like thinking, this is how we're gonna have to beat them. It's gonna have to be on pit road, because we were just we were just too close on the long run. By the time I'd get to him, the tires were shot, so it was just kind of like a stalemate once I got to him. But it was good fun racing, especially on those early runs, early on the set of tires. So just a blast to run it. Glad we got the P2. I think we were about a P2 truck. Maybe P1 if Nathan would have made a mistake on pit road, but we didn't get to see that last stop. But that was a ton of fun.
For sure. Definitely was a ton of fun to watch you as well, Carter. Of course, Darlington's next week. How you feeling about that?
Love Darlington. It's a blast. Did some Xfinity this last weekend at Darlington, and it's just, I mean, I know it's kind of typical to say this, but it really is a driver's track. You can do so many different things with the throttle, the lifting points, and bouncing close up to the wall if you need to. There's so many options, but at the same time there's not, because it's very narrow. But it'd be important to qualify good there, not mess up on the Q lap, and just respect the track. You got to race the track at the same time. That's what I love about it too. Like you can't get greedy there. It's gonna step out and bite you if you do. So I love those style of racetracks. So looking forward to it.
All right, we're looking forward to seeing it. Who can we shout out, Carter?
Shout out you guys for commentating and broadcasting this league. Shout out to James for welcoming me into the league and running this thing. It's like I said earlier, it's just a fun league. You know, you don't always get these kind of leagues to where you get this kind of racing. It can be kind of hectic depending on who runs said league. It can kind of be a bit of a stir and not really organized. But over here, it's pretty clean cut, and you got some good racers. So thanks to him for running the league, and I mean, can't go without thanking Champion Power Equipment for making this all possible.
Well, thanks for your time, Carter. It was great talking to you. Finally getting to interview you. I got to hear Edstrom interview you before, but I didn't get to. And, I even heard you shout me, say something to me. I'm like, oh man, I can't answer him. But great to talk to you, Carter. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, buddy. Sounds good.
Alrighty, that was Carter Casey, of course, driver of the 8 machine. Next up, we have Nathan Meyer. I mean, we're just going to have to start calling him Money Meyer, because he is just a absolute dominator. I mean, this man shows up at Dover, whoops him. I mean, you've won 5 races. How many more are you going to win, Nathan? I mean, this is ridiculous. We're gonna have to, I don't know, tie one tire behind the other or something. I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah, man. It was fascinating. This is one of my favorite tracks. As soon as that last caution came out, I was like, oh no, this is where I'm gonna get wrecked. It was really fun though. The long green flag run, and that first time we pitted, I scrubbed the wall, and Casey got ahead of me, which was kind of nice because I got a pit a lap before him. Then I came out with the lead again, and then the caution came out. But yeah, it was a good race. It was a lot of fun.
It definitely seemed like a lot of fun. Now, what happened there with you hitting the wall? Was that just a genuine mistake?
Yeah, I was trying to, because every once in a while you look at the corner of your eye, look at the lap times to see if he's catching you or not. And I just didn't lift as much as I should have going in the corner, and I tagged the wall. And at that point, you kind of just have to ride it until you bounce off at the end of the corner. And then, yeah, it was just a mistake. Didn't really mean to. I just got a little too on the gas there. But no damage, so it worked out.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we thought you did have some damage. I know after it happened, it looked like there was a pretty good scrub, a pretty good scrape on the side, but then all of a sudden it disappeared. That was something I noticed as well. But hey, it worked out for you, and you were able to win here at Kansas. But you definitely had some pretty good competition. I mean, Carter Casey definitely made you earn it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it seems like every race on these long green flags, he's catching me back up. But usually at these tracks too, once you it's just so important to have the lead, because when you can pitch someone down and that guy knows what he's doing, he's not going to come up and hit you. So it's just really important to have the lead, especially if the guy behind you is a little bit faster on the long run. So just make it a little hard on him. And then at the end you had to block like hell, because once you give up that bottom here, you're toast. So yeah, everyone raced clean. It was really fun.
Well, it's definitely looking more and more likely like you're going to be the champion. I mean, of course, I do believe you have 17 points of a lead right now. I do believe on Keegan Sabilo, but they still do have a glimmer of hope. Next week's Darlington, and I've heard that's not your favorite track.
Yeah,
How you
that's
feeling?
their hope. That's their hope right there. I think I've raced there once and I hated it. I haven't taken the time to learn how to do it.
Oh, wow.
So I don't think that you'll be talking to me next week. I'll be very surprised if you are. But you never know. Maybe I'll get lucky with a caution and new tires. But I might practice a little this week, but I haven't done it before. So I'm expecting Keegan to be really strong here at the last 4 races, and hopefully I can still hold it out.
Well, I know Darlington. You very much. I'm encouraging you to go practice because that is a tough
Yeah.
track.
Yeah, it is.
They call it too tough to tame, and I don't think they're joking about that.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. I did think I did a couple official races a few years ago. I was finishing 18th and 20th. I was like, oh, I'm not doing this. So it'll be interesting.
Well, I know it's a driver's track, and you are a driver, sir. So
That's true.
I think that
Thanks.
you're going to do better than you think you're going to. But who can we shout out, Nathan?
Yeah, thanks to you guys. I'm going to go back and watch it after this. So thanks to you guys, Grid Vision, for putting this on. You guys are awesome. Green Mountain Grills, Champion Power Equipment for doing this. And yeah, just thanks for everyone in the league making it more fun. There's been a lot of guys showing up now. So there's more racing throughout the field, and it's more fun to watch. And just everyone's racing clean lately. So shout out to everybody.
All right, Nathan, thanks for your time, man. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, that was Nathan Michael, and great job for him. 24 dominating once again, and of course, you picked him, so definitely that was a good call. Sure, and I'll be honest, I want to pick too, but I just cannot pick the same person as somebody else. I didn't want to do it. Man, great there, Nathan. Sorry, Kelvin. What did you think of the race?
That was incredible. And honestly, he was a sneaky pick go with those moves that he was pulling off practice. I watched him go from the back of the pack to the front of the pack, then back to the front 3 times while you're sitting there getting ready to broadcast. Just a tremendous job he did tonight. All those guys in the top 5 were just stout.
100%. Now, of course, we got the schedule up right now. We'll go ahead and go through that. Thunderclap is going to be tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, Friday we're going to have the right people that's split NIS. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you tune in for that. Definitely was an awesome show tonight, though. We definitely appreciate everybody out there tuning in. Thanks to Champion for putting their trust in us. I know that this has been a long road that Champion's been on with us here at Grid Vision. We're so glad they stuck with us for sure. My name's Brian Britt. We've had a special Sheldon Atkins with us here tonight. We want to give him a big shout out and thank him. Austin Darbyshire for doing the awesome job behind the camera. Probably one of the best camera operators we have on iRacing, that's for sure. But we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.